Today, we will be looking for the ghost of Marilyn Monroe, the most beautiful woman of an era, who made her name history in gold letters. Yeah, you didn't hear wrong, the ghost. The blonde beauty, who pursued many men during her lifetime, is actually an ordinary event for her to be pursued by her ghost after her death. She was followed by world-famous actors, politicians, and rich people. Have you ever heard of Marilyn Monroe's ghost wandering around in a hotel in America? First, let's take a look at the famous star's life story, which is like a movie. As the pieces of a puzzle come together, details that will astonish you beyond the ghost claim will be revealed. The world knew her as the dumb blonde, but those close to her say that Marilyn Monroe was not stupid at all. The archives prove that the world-famous star's life story was full of pain. Marilyn Monroe was born on June 1, 1926 in Los Angeles. Her real name is Norma Jean Mortensen. Marilyn Monroe's difficulties in life began even before she was born. A few weeks before the birth of the famous star, her father abandoned her mother. Her mother, who was about to give birth, was psychologically disturbed by this incident and lost her mind. When her mother was committed to a mental hospital, the little girl was left in the middle. After this situation, Marilyn started to grow up in an orphanage. In the written sources and interviews she gave, reflections of the pain of his childhood began to emerge. During her life in orphanages, Marilyn Monroe occasionally admitted that she was subjected to a lot of sexual abuse and emotional pressure. She was very young when she left the orphanage. When she was 16, she married James Daugherty, a 21-year-old aircraft mechanic. So it was a marriage of convenience. Marilyn Monroe, who was sexually abused in orphanage, thought that her life, which had turned into hell, would be saved by this marriage. After her marriage, Marilyn immediately went to work in a factory and started her life. The 16-year-old girl, who went to the factory early every morning, met a photographer at the factory. The photographer was mesmerized by her magical beauty. Perhaps sensing that a factory worker would become Marilyn Monroe, he took photographs of her and arranged for them to be published in a magazine. When the magazine was published, many agencies and fashion designers asked, "Who is this girl?" because she had both beauty and a tremendous star energy. The little girl, whose life began to change after the magazine pose she gave, changed her name at the age of 20. Now everyone knew her as Marilyn Monroe. Officials at 20th Century Fox, the world's largest film production and distribution company, gave her the stage name Marilyn Monroe because they found her previous name too long. However, the famous star was not happy with the name Marilyn at first, even saying, "I don't even know how to spell Marilyn." The famous star, whose mother lost her mind shortly before her birth, grew up without a mother, but chose the Monroe part of her name herself, as it was her mother's maiden name. It is not known for certain who Marilyn Monroe's father was. Charles Stanley Gifford is the man claimed by Marilyn's mother to be her father. However, Gifford's family still claims they have no connection to Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, who grew up without a father while her mother was in a mental hospital, did not break away from life despite all the drama she experienced. She appeared in front of the camera for his first motion picture in 1947. Marilyn's first film was The Shocking Miss Pilgrim. Marilyn appeared in this movie for a moment as a telephone operator. So she was not in the lead role as you might have guessed. The first marriage of Marilyn Monroe, who was looking for roles in movies and struggling to become a star, ended during this period. The famous star made her second marriage to Joe DiMaggio in 1954. Joe DiMaggio did not approve of Marilyn's career. He often expressed that he preferred his wife not to work. Marilyn Monroe did not like this situation at all.